Students, so today we will do with the surface marking of the structures which are related to mediastinum. So you have already done with the mediastinum and its contents, the superior mediastinum, the inferior which is divisible into three parts, the anterior, middle and posterior mediastinum. So we have already done with the theory and the practical part of the mediastinum, and you have already done with the surface marking of the heart, pleura, lungs. Now we will do the surface marking of the aorta, vena cava, descending thoracic aorta, ascending aorta, arc of aorta, trachea, esophagus, some important structures which are lying in the mediastinum. So first of all we will start with the aorta. So aorta is having three parts: ascending aorta, arc of aorta and descending aorta. So first of all is the ascending aorta. So for marking the ascending aorta, we need to first of all mark the third costal cartilage. So you already know this is the manubrium, this is the body of the sternum, and this is the sternal angle of Lewis. इसके सामने क्या है? सेकेंड कॉस्टल कार्टिलेज. तो थर्ड कॉस्टल कार्टिलेज के लेवल पे है आयोटिक ऑरिफाइस टुवर्ड्स द लेफ्ट साइड, लेफ्ट ऑफ द स्टर्नम पे है आयोटिक ऑरिफाइस. सो we will draw an oblique line going downwards and towards the right, which is 2.5 centimeter long. So this is the aortic orifice. Now we will draw two parallel lines going upwards and towards the, first it will go towards the right side, then it will arc upwards, and this is 2.5 centimeter apart. So this is the ascending aorta. Now coming to the arc of aorta. So arc of aorta lies behind the lower and half of the manubrium sterni. This is the manubrium. So behind this part, lower part of the manubrium, the arc of aorta will lie with convexity towards neck. So this is the arc of aorta. So ascending aorta begins at the sternal angle and it ends at the same level. So the arc of aorta lies behind the lower half of the manubrium sterni. So whenever we do the sternal puncture, we always use the upper half of the manubrium sterni, not the lower half, to prevent the damage to the aorta. So now the third part of the aorta, that is the descending aorta, the descending thoracic aorta, again 2.5 centimeter apart, two parallel lines. The descending thoracic aorta begins at the level of second costal cartilage. It means at the level of the sternal angle of Lewis. You have already done with the changes that are occurring at the sternal angle. So now the descending thoracic aorta, it will run downwards and medially just above the transpyloric plane, just above the transpyloric plane. Now what is transpyloric plane? It is an imaginary plane that we will do in abdomen, which lies in the midway between the xiphisternum joint. This is the xiphisternum joint, this is the umbilicus, just in the midpoint of these two structures, imaginary line that is known as transpyloric plane. So just above the transpyloric plane, this descending thoracic aorta will end. Now the second structure which we are going to draw is the superior vena cava. So superior vena cava, it is marked by two parallel lines which will be 2 centimeter apart, drawn from the lower border of the right first costal cartilage. So this is the right side, this is the second costal cartilage, above the second is the first costal cartilage. So we will mark 2 points which will be 2 centimeter apart at the first costal cartilage on the right side. It will extend till the third right costal cartilage. So we will draw two parallel lines till the third costal cartilage. So this is the superior vena cava which is draining into the right atrium of the heart. So next structure which we are going to mark is the trachea. So you know the trachea lies in the midline of the body, but the neck of this cadaver is slightly towards the right side, so we cannot mark the thyroid or the cricoid cartilage. So first of all we have to feel the thyroid cartilage. You can feel the Adam's apple. At the neck. So just below the thyroid cartilage, below the Adam's apple, is the cricoid cartilage. It should be in midline, but in this cadaver it is not in midline because the neck is very much rigid and we cannot move it. So we will mark 2 points which are 2 cm apart, just at the level of cricoid cartilage, and it will run parallel and towards slight inclination towards the right up to the jugular notch, or the sternal angle, up to the sternal angle. So this is the trachea with the cartilaginous rings. So what is the extent of the trachea? From the cricoid cartilage to the sternal angle and inclination towards the right. So we have already done the point where the trachea is dividing into right bronchus and left bronchus is known as carina, which lies at the level of sternal angle. So you need to recall those things which changes that are occurring at the level of sternal angle. So this is the surface marking of trachea. So now the next important structure we are going to mark is the esophagus. So esophagus is the muscular tube which extends from the pharynx till the stomach. So it will also lie in the midline. So first of all we will draw 2 points as same at the level of cricoid cartilage, which will be 2.5 cm apart. So this is the starting point of the esophagus at the level of cricoid cartilage, 2.5 cm apart. So next 2 points we will mark at the root of the neck. 2 points, again 2.5 cm wide. Then next 2 points we will mark on the sternal angle, again 2.5 cm apart. Then last 2 points, fourth point we will mark on the 7th costal cartilage. So this was the third where we marked the aortic orifice. This is 4th, this is 5th, this is 6th, this is 7th. So at this 7th costal cartilage, 2.5 cm left to the midline. So this is the midline. 2.5 cm approximately left side of the midline we will mark the 2 points. So these are the 4 points because stomach is lying on the left side of the abdomen. So we will mark the lower end of esophagus on the left side of the 7th at the level of 7th costal cartilage. So we will join all these points. So this we have marked the esophagus, which is a muscular tube connecting the pharynx with the upper end of the stomach.